Welcome to my YouTube channel Wise Whispers, where silence speaks. My name is Bentley, and I am 61 years old. I never imagined that one quiet afternoon at my country house would reveal a secret that would shake my heart and change my relationship with my own son forever. That house meant everything to me. I bought it more than 20 years ago after my wife and I had saved every spare dollar we could. It sat on a peaceful piece of land surrounded by tall oak trees and wide green fields. Birds sang there in the morning, and the evenings smelled like fresh grass and wood smoke. After my wife passed away 8 years ago, that house became my sanctuary, the only place where I truly felt close to her memories. I rarely visited it during the winter, but that spring day I suddenly felt the urge to drive out there. I packed a small bag, grabbed the old brass keys, and drove 2 hours through the countryside. As I approached the property, something felt strange. There were 3 unfamiliar cars parked outside the gate. My first thought was that maybe someone had broken in. My heart began to pound as I stepped out of my car. I slowly walked toward the front door, listening carefully. I could hear voices, laughter, and even music playing inside. Someone was definitely in my house. My hands trembled slightly as I unlocked the door. The moment I pushed it open, I froze. Inside my living room sat 5 complete strangers. A woman was cooking in my kitchen. 2 kids were running across the hallway. A man sat comfortably on my sofa watching television as if he owned the place. Everyone turned to look at me. For a few seconds, nobody spoke. Then the woman frowned and asked sharply, "Excuse me, who are you?" I felt a wave of disbelief wash over me. "Who am I?" I repeated slowly. "I'm Bentley, I own this house." The room fell silent. The man on the couch suddenly stood up, confused. "But Daniel told us this house belongs to the family," he said. "Daniel? My son?" The name hit me like a punch to the chest. "Daniel, my son?" I asked quietly. The woman nodded. "Yes, we're his wife's relatives. He told us we could stay here for a while since the house was empty." For a moment I couldn't speak. I felt anger rising in my chest, but more than that, I felt hurt. My own son had given strangers permission to live in my home without even asking me. I took a deep breath and said calmly, "How long have you been here?" "About 2 weeks," the man replied. 2 weeks? They had been living in my house for 2 weeks while I knew nothing about it. I stepped outside and called my son. He answered cheerfully. "Hey, Dad." "Daniel," I said slowly, trying to keep my voice steady, "why are there people living in my country house?" There was a long silence on the phone. Then he sighed. "Dad, I was going to tell you." "That's usually something people say after they've already done something wrong," I replied. He explained that his wife's relatives had recently moved to the country and needed a place to stay temporarily. Since my house was empty most of the time, he thought it wouldn't be a big deal. "You thought it wouldn't be a big deal," I said. "Daniel, that house is not an abandoned hotel, it's my home." He tried to convince me it was harmless. "They'll only stay a little while," he said. But the real issue wasn't how long they stayed. The real issue was respect. My son had made a decision about my property without even asking me. I walked back into the house. The relatives were watching me nervously. I spoke calmly. "I understand you came here believing you had permission, but this is my home, and I was never asked." They looked embarrassed. The woman apologized softly. "We didn't know, Daniel told us it was okay." I nodded. "I know, and this situation is not your fault." They began packing their things quietly. Before they left, the man shook my hand. "I'm sorry for the misunderstanding," he said. After they drove away, the house became silent again. But it didn't feel peaceful like it used to. That evening, Daniel came to see me in person. He looked uncomfortable as he stepped inside. "Dad, I didn't think you'd mind," he said. I sat across from him at the kitchen table. "Daniel," I said gently, "this house isn't just wood and walls. It holds memories of your mother, of our family. When you let strangers live here without asking, it feels like those memories don't matter." His expression softened. I didn't think about it like that, he admitted. I know you wanted to help your wife's family, I said. Helping people is good, but respect should always come first. He nodded slowly. I'm sorry, Dad. For the first time that day, my anger faded. Because I realized something important. Sometimes people don't mean to hurt us, they simply forget to think. That evening we walked outside and sat on the porch together, watching the sunset over the fields. The sky turned orange and gold, just like it used to when my wife and I would sit there years ago. Daniel looked around quietly. I forgot how special this place is, he said. I smiled faintly. So now do you remember? And maybe that was enough. Moral of the story. Kindness should never replace respect. Before making decisions that affect others, especially family, always ask, always communicate, and always remember the value of what belongs to someone else.